to create space intentionally for people that look like us to show their work and to be celebrated, and for that showing to happen with attention to the detail of the culture that birthed it, right? And so our tagline, curating the culture, is a big part of what we do. It is telling the story of our people and our experience. And so we are here with Bee1ne, muralist sometimes, graffiti artist sometimes. I think we've landed on contemporary street art as the vision.
Art, multidisciplinary artist.
Right. So if you can, introduce yourself to the people.
Well, I go by Bee1ne, known as Brian Anthony, and of course I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I live in Columbus now, and graduated from CCAD.
What's CCAD?
Columbus College of Art and Design.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the top art colleges in the country, for real.
I mean, you flex a little bit.
Yeah, you know.
I got you.
That shit was hard.
So what do you mean it was hard?
I mean, CCAD is it wasn't no walk in the park, you know what I'm saying? And then I ain't gonna mention no names, but I had this one instructor though. You know what I'm saying? They basically told me graffiti or street art wasn't a style. It was more like vandalism, you know. So I was just like, or my inspirations, or I got knocked because my inspirations didn't come from like Rembrandt and you know, Salvador Dali, and so I didn't know too much about art history until I got to college. Okay. You know, so I mean, I learned a little bit in high school, but for the most part, we learned how to create art versus just art history. You know what I'm saying? So my inspiration just came from what was around me. And
that was my next kind of segue. The inspiration, right? So we are in the show Ghetto Heroes. First, tell us a little bit about the show Ghetto Heroes, right? What the direction was, what the story was that you wanted to tell.
Well, I mean, the original title was Dope Boy with My Heroes.
Yes.
You know, so I changed it up to make it a little more broader because, I mean, originally, Dope Boys were my heroes. You know, so the way they dress, the lifestyle, you know, of course. I mean, everybody's story is different. You know, so what was around me, you know, was an inspiration to me, and it just so happened to be Dope Boy.
Got you.
So you know, and it's no right or wrong to that. You know, so I think when people hear it, it's like, you know, because most kids be like, oh well, doctors, lawyers, this person. Nah, yo, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
That Benz right there, that white Benz with the red interior, and he outside, bro.
Yeah.
I want to be outside. You know, so it was a, you know, teenage adolescence, you know, and one thing led to another. You know, the lifestyle is attractive. Yeah.
So again, following the direction you're going, you mentioned the lifestyle, right? So you grew up close to where we are right now, 79th and Central. You grew up in the Huff neighborhood. Yeah. So can you talk a little bit about like your experiences growing up? You mentioned, you know, getting caught in the lifestyle. What does that mean?
Let's talk about like just growing up on Huff first. Oh man, born in Mount Sinai. That's tore down now. That's condemned.
Yes.
I think it's treacherous. First of all. Growing up on Huff, I know my family fought a lot. Like my cousins, they did because it was going to the parks and shit like that. It was like, you got your cousin white. He ain't white. We about to, you know. So, you know, my cousin Shana would be fighting everybody at the parks and everything like that. So, even moving around because my mother was in the Marines, but I stayed with my aunt for a little while. But even moving around from place to place, you know what I'm saying? People will test you because you light skinned, bro. I'm like, ooh, colorism is always at an all-time high, ain't it? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a touchy subject for people. But like, you know, so it was always a little difficult because, of course, I grew up in all black neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? And I think what it was is that, like, when I was younger, I was angry at everybody.
Yeah.
You know, so, but I was the closest thing to the complexion to what we all hated at the same time. So it was almost like I was like, oh, all right, hood sacrifice.
Right.
The hood sacrifice, man. But my cousin, Landy, also one of my huge inspirations, man. And he used to call me Star Child, but that actually made me feel a lot better in some ways. And then here it is on my Jesus year, we have a solar eclipse. You know what I'm saying? So it was like
watching it line up.
Yeah. And then I used to hear family like, you destined for greatness. You're gonna be up out of here. We're gonna be up out of here. And yeah.
And you mentioned greatness, so we didn't get a chance to go over, some of the accolades and some of the things that you've already done, right? Oh. So, tell the people a little bit of your bio, right? What shows have you done, in what cities, who you've worked with, who you've sold to, that kind of stuff.
Man. Not the Yashi, you sure you want to hear that?
Yeah, man. Listen, the people need to understand who you are, right?
All right. I mean, so you basically want me to? All right.
Gas yourself.
I've done Art Basel Miami since 2014.
Okay.
That's one of the largest art expos, I would say, in the U.S. Art Basel is huge, though. It's in Hong Kong, Switzerland, of course, Basel, Switzerland, and Miami. I would think Miami is more commercial for the parties and shit like that, but it's good exposure. It opened up a lot of doors, avenues for me. Doing Art Basel actually got me in Vibe magazine, working with Trina, doing private listening parties for her. Art Basel got me to meet Push, So I got the, Fabulous taking pictures in front of my artwork. I got to work with a dope nightclub, Studio 23, that was on Collins on South Beach. When they first opened, man, they believed in the kids, so it was like, all right, I'm about to really set this off. So during that Art Basel, everybody that bought gold bottles, we gave them ski mask t-shirts.
Okay.
And the ski mask t-shirts was, it was gold hearts on it.
Okay.
So it was the gold hearts for the,
for the gold bottle.
Exactly. Because the Ace of Spades is like a upside down heart.
Yeah, I remember when Ace of Spades first came out, it was a thing.
Bro.
It was everywhere.
That was the epitome of club success, bro. Like everybody wanted to pop Ace.
Man.
It's so, I like it, the aesthetic, but it's so overpriced in the nightclubs.
Everything is overpriced in nightclubs though.
Right.
But not the art. Right?
But they let me paint the wall and everything.
Okay.
Inside and outside, which got a lot of exposure. Like Jeezy and them was taking pictures in front of it. That's when I knew, I was like, all right, bet. I need to do more of these walls like this. Something I was already doing for real.
Yeah.
So it was, honestly, it's full circle. Everything is full circle.
All right. So you got Art Basel down. What other stuff have you done locally? I know this is your first show in Cleveland, hometown, but I know you've done some other solo work too.
Yeah, I got my first show, I Am, was in 2014 at Wild Goose Creative. I put that show on myself, and that's when Conception Gallery seen me and wanted me to come to Art Basel Miami. Also, Spread More Love was my second solo show that was put on by Gallery Denmark and Corey Favor and Marshall Shorts from the creative. My fault. Oh, they gonna kick me.
They gonna kill you.
Creative Hustle.
Okay.
Damn, bro. I got so much going on. And then my third solo show was Seasons, which was held at Madison, USA. Okay. Which was Evan Turner's store.
Okay.
And he actually got my camera on a piece too.
Okay, so that's part of the series that is showing here, right?
Yeah. So the Harlem pieces was all together, and one of them got bought.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. That's a great thing.
Yeah. So shifting back to the art, right? Talk about the things that you want to tell and you want to say with this exhibition, right? Ghetto Heroes, run into the 26th. You've got a kind of pretty broad, right, stroke,
Oh, yeah.
no pun intended,
Yeah.
right, on the canvas. So what were your goals with this show?
To basically, like, everybody heroes ain't the same. Everybody inspiration isn't the same. You know, so what some people might find inspiration in the typical police officer, doctor, or lawyer, you know, that the stuff they tell us in grade school, like, oh, here's the list of jobs you should choose from. Be a teacher or a professor or whatever the case. You know, not saying that those are bad jobs or anything. You know what I'm saying? Because, shoot, I got aunties who was teachers and everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but everybody inspiration, everybody heroes aren't the same. What I might find inspiration from or what might motivate me might not be the same as you. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? So I'm letting other people know that it's, because I know if I feel like this, I'm damn sure it's other people who feel the same way.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So, for example, I didn't know what I loved Scarface in high school. I just did. So I painted, I drew it. And my teacher was like, "Why do you keep doing this artwork?" I was like, "Well, it's cool. I like it." Like, you couldn't find inspiration somewhere else. All right. Came back. It was Belly. What is this?
I'm sure she was lost.
Yeah. So that one, it didn't matter because it was just like, oh, it's beautiful. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, because I did the, the side profile illustration that was.
Okay.
Nas was sitting there. Everybody do art.
Yeah.
For that piece, that photo. So I did that, and she was just like, okay, this is nice. Like, bet. All right, slide with something different.
Right.
But nonetheless, the inspiration still comes from the same environment.
And so, again, we're talking about the environment. Give me some specifics, right? Some people and experiences that you can say with some.
I'm not even going. I'll let you articulate it. I mean,
you let me.
Yeah, because I mean, what it is that the world that I grew up in, hood culture that everybody loves. Like, America love this gangster shit for real.
Facts.
They just don't want to talk about it. That's why it's movies. That's why, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything's surrounded by it. And I'm not just saying that, but I also like growing up, what I seen, the big hoop earrings. I like the big box braids. I like, you know what I'm saying, girls in Jordan 1s and stuff like that. Summertime, like, all
and that's Cleveland. That's Cleveland culture, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I hate fucking micros, bro, and quickly. But you know what? It's a part of the culture that a part of that I appreciate. You know what I'm saying? I got cousins and sisters who was dancers. I don't look at everything in the same manner. Like, I appreciate the strip club culture in a different aspect for the hustle. You know what I'm saying? I look at all those women as artists for real, especially ones who can get on it. You know how much fucking core strength that take?
Oh yeah.
I bet you them dudes can't do it. I bet you a lot of dudes in that audience can't do it.
It be them the dudes in New York on the subway trains standing sideways.
You know what I'm saying? Now you're gonna find some guys in Cuyahoga, you know what I'm saying, correctional facility that but for the most part, and even that, like, I love all of it.
And it's funny what you're talking about is black culture, right? And very specifically the distinction of black American culture, right? So these are the customs that we have created, within our communities.
But I was told that some of what I was inspired by was wrong growing up. You know what I'm saying? In certain galleries and even creating what I was creating in school. Like, even drawing the women, I drew my women in fashion. Like, I was in fashion illustration, bro, and the women that I drew had bigger hips. So the illustrator, like my first fashion illustrator instructor was like, you don't have to draw the hips so wide. Why not?
Right.
Like, does it make you uncomfortable? You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
And then I got a black instructor. And she was cool with it. She was like, yo, this is dope. Okay, cool. Why? Because it was what was around me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not even being like vulgar or nothing. I'm talking about from everyone. My aunts, my mother, like, everybody is shaped that way. Yeah, and I think
it's important to understand, and part of the work that we do here at Deep Roots is giving context to the culture, right? black culture is very coded.
Right.
And if you're not intimately engaged in it, then you'll miss it, right? And that's the experience, right? Is having a teacher who says, I don't understand this.
Yeah, and that's what I mean, right? So I didn't knock the instructors. Like when my mother she was like, just do what they need you to do.
Just do what they tell you.
Yeah, and so you can get through.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get through. And I did that in the beginning, and then I left.
Yeah.
I left school. I wasn't comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I essentially built everything up on my own and developed a team, built a team, built my own circle. And then once everything started with the momentum and revenue started coming in, at first I was like, shit, I don't gotta go back to school now. Fuck that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Fuck that school.
Right.
You know, but my mother was like, yeah, worked all that time and you already at the end. Yo, I left my senior year.
Yikes.
I was at the end.
Yeah.
I was at the end.
That's when it's the hardest.
I went back and it was actually after I got done with my junior year, I was done. Like I just took a break. And honestly, the senior year wasn't hard because it was literally because by that time I had a break, right?
Yeah.
So I literally developed my own style and signature, and by that time, even some of the instructors knew who I was. So because I already had started building a name for myself. So when I did my thesis, I did it on Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton, and basically that was part of one of the
thugging in my Louis loafers.
Louis loafers.
Right. So talk specifically about that piece. Right. You brought it up. Tell us a little bit about what that piece means to you.
It's hood success.
Say more.
Hood success, man. You know, so he still got his, slacks on. It's really like an OG for real.
Right.
You know, it's not too much. It ain't no jewelry on. It's really like murdered out black tee. You know what I'm saying? He probably got some blue chinos on. Maybe some. I ain't gonna say no blue Dickies. Because he in Louis loafers, so we going up.
I got you.
Maybe some Carhartts.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, it's some all expensive thread.
Yes.
But it's still G'd out. So it's like, all right, but nonetheless, we all know that LV emblem. Yeah. Across cultures. No matter where you at, everybody knows that LV.
Yeah.
So no matter what threads he got on, the people gonna look at his feet and automatically equate what? Success.
Yeah, and I think
no matter where, what realm or what your hustle is.
Yeah, and to that point, a lot of your work has reference, right, to designer labels and to customs that come from the experience of success, and so I'm curious about how that drives you, right? Because if you're adding these labels, is that what you're pursuing, right? Or is that, a reminder to yourself of the things that you shouldn't be lusting over, right? Like why are those so prominent in your work?
Both. I found actually what's crazy is that I like fly shit. Don't get me wrong. I do. I love it. But I see the more I obtain financially, the less I actually want certain things, which is crazy. It's backwards. But it's almost like now, whereas before when I had money, it was like, ooh, let me get this right now while I got the money. Now it's like, I got it, I get it when I want to. Right, right.
It afforded you a little bit of patience.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, I'll buy it next week. Right. But it's resale value. You're not gonna panic. No, it's cool. I ain't gonna hit on the sneakers app anyway. That's what it is.
So sneakers, man. Yeah. You brought it up. Let's talk about it, cause I started out trying to let you live, let you shine with the sneakers, and every time we connected, I would pull up. I'll be trying to chill, and then you would try to flex on me.
We ain't gonna go into
and I think it started.
Listen, we ain't gonna go.
Hold on, because it started. So backstory, right? I met this brother through a mutual friend and mentor, Mr. Soul. We actually met in Atlanta. He over here. He's sleeping. Yo.
Oh, he's woke. My fault.
But we met in Atlanta, and I would think like it was instant that like the relationship had to do something, right? And we said like we don't know what it's gonna be, but we gonna figure something out.
Yeah, you did say
yeah,
that.
and
like, you know how
yeah.
Something happened.
Right, and so fast forward, the pandemic hits, and everything slows down. And so you know we're now following on social media, like some quick messages, but nothing real significant. And I think for me, the shift was when I started to see the intentionality that you have in including the hearts in the work. Right, it drew me in. Right, because I didn't understand it. Right, I was new to you as an artist, and so hearts are a huge part of every piece that exists for you. Right, can you talk a little bit about why the hearts?
Ooh, the hearts have so many metaphors, man. Multiple metaphors, and everybody that's one. I think I get that inbox.
Yeah,
like at least twice a week. But of course, the hearts represent spread more love in a world that shows so little. So it's almost like a Band-Aid on the environments that I come from.
Gotcha.
You know, exactly what I just did this past weekend. On the west side of Columbus, Sullivan Avenue, man, you walk down there, you're gonna see somebody geeking in a bikini, you know what I'm saying, shermed out or something, you know. But
geeking, shermed out, again, cultural colloquialism, right? And so, but no, this is important, right? And I think that I continue to illuminate this because that's exactly what we look to do, right? Is to give people context around the culture that they may think they understand, but they don't know all the nuances. And the nuances are what you know, create the levels of disrespect, right, or respect that you're giving to that culture. So right. You speak freely.
Okay.
Yeah, speak freely.
But so basically, the west side, you know, certain parts, you know what I'm saying, it's run down. You know? So we put, the city gave us a grant basically to put up some public art. And immediately it got responses, you know, from a lot of the people that lived in the neighborhood. A lot of people loved the artwork. So basically that's what the hearts, you know, I like putting hearts everywhere, spread more love in a world that shows so little, especially in more, you know what I'm saying, run down areas. I'd rather paint an old abandoned building, you know what I'm saying, just to beautify it just a little bit, you know, but it's a contrast between, you know what I'm saying, urban decay a little bit, you know, and the heart.
Yeah.
The beauty aspect of the heart.
Yeah, and it's interesting as you talk about like urban decay, right? We talked a little bit about what you want to accomplish, right? The things that you want to see yourself bring into fruition. And we gonna let them ride out for a second. Yeah. All right. But we talk about urban decay, right? We talk about beautifying the community. What does that look like to you?
Man, honestly, saying beautifying the community in a whole.
Yeah.
That's a broad question.
It's broad enough, but I think there's space for you to talk about what you believe, right? You can do in that space. And again, context is important. We all have to play a part, right, to make these spaces more attractive and more fit for living. Right. Because we're talking about areas in Cleveland and Columbus that, you know, have disproportionate levels of poverty, right? We just finished a mural on the west side of Cleveland where some of the highest property value, right, exists, but you also have 40% of that population that lives at or below poverty, right? And so there are these sharp contrasts that exist in the way that people live, so.
Hit it on the money. Keep rolling.
No, I mean, I want to know what is your role, right, in the beautification of your community?
Honestly, I'm just putting a Band-Aid on the situation. That's what it is.
Okay.
Because it's so much to fix in a lot of these places, to the point where it can't be just fixed with a mural. Which it can help, but you know, because people, what happens is a lot of these murals bring people to come to that area either to take pictures or even the people who live in that neighborhood to have value and appreciate it and want to take care of it. You know, which, you know, surrounds the whole area. And now everybody is taking care of everything. It's
accountability.
It's a snowball effect. You know, and that's what you want. You want, all right, that's beautiful. You know what? The guy, when I was painting in front of his store, he actually started sweeping in the front of his store. Like, oh yeah, you know what? Let's clean this up a little bit. Like,
yeah, that's inspiring pride.
I appreciate that. You know, he was like, yo, this looks good. I appreciate it, man. How long is it gonna stay down? Is it gonna stay down for a long time? I was like, it can. He was like, yeah, I don't want it to wash away or nothing. I'm like, all right, perfect, because it ain't going nowhere.
Right.
I was really trying to see what he was gonna say, like, nah, you know, is it gonna be temporary or whatever? But he was just like, nah, you know what? Keep it. I want to keep it here. And that's the response I be wanting from everywhere I paint.
All right, so let's take a step back. And again, I've dove into your work, right? And so 5150, right? It is, again, another piece of your work that exists pretty significantly, right? Now we're gonna talk about it all, man. And so I want you to talk a little bit, tell the people like what that means, right? Because there are two meanings to it.
I mean, that's one thing. Like 5150, if you know, you know. You know, like it's not one of those things you really explain or talk about too much.
Yeah.
But in part, 5150 is also the police code for crazy. They might say we got a 5150 in progress. That person might be a danger to themselves or others around them. Yeah. So also, I mix it up a little bit and tie in the heart, and how love can be crazy as well. So 5150, and then I take the make it a heart.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting. More often than not, the 5150 exists.
It's really putting a Band-Aid on that situation too.
Right. Well, it exists on the pieces that have ski masks. Yeah. Right. And so there's this duality that exists to say, like, you know, you have no idea what's behind this mask, but it's assumed, right, that person is already crazy. And that's, you know, much of the experience within Black culture, right? It is being assumed to something before you've had a chance to prove. Yeah.
A whole lot of prejudgment.
And I imagine within the art world, that's something that you've experienced significantly, not just, you know, in the neighborhood where they say, you know, he's the light-skinned guy, but, you know, talk a little bit about what that feels like, right? To be in an art space that is obviously hypercritical of Black and brown artists who might not have like the right context to understand the work. What does that feel like?
It was very dismissive. It was somewhat embarrassing to the point where you don't feel like you're good enough. And when you look at some of these galleries that I went to, and they did say, they was like, your work doesn't fit here. And that's one thing I had to learn too, that there are different types of galleries. You know, but they didn't have to be so fucking smug about it. You know what I'm saying? So it was.
Say that one more time. They didn't have to be so smug about it. I paused on that just because there is a dismissive nature that exists whenever something different comes from within like Black and brown communities, right? And ignorance is often used as a tool, right, to justify the dismissiveness and the harsh criticism. But yeah,
so it was, they basically, you know, I mean, I had a lot of doors shut in my face. You know, my work doesn't fit. You know what, this work doesn't belong here. I don't know about nudity. Shit, it's nudity all through history, art history. Like, I'm in middle school looking at titties and ass from white women.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay, you know. So it was just like, all right, but in certain galleries, it was like, ooh, that black booty, that big round brown can't be up on this wall, though, bro. Like, all right. I mean, it's the same, but it's in some aspects. Actually, I took in some of my old pinup paintings, I really did old art history paintings, and they didn't even know because they only seen the complexion of the women. You know, so yeah, like with the galleries, they can be very judgmental on people's artwork, and but like I said, some of the art galleries I went to, I probably didn't belong to. You know, I didn't belong there. Like, they had lily pads and ponds and shit like that. You know? Not even full landscapes, just like, you know, and that's cool. So it's people who admire paintings of strawberries. However, you know, that ain't me. You know, so I guess my artwork doesn't belong in that gallery.
Yeah, and I mean, realistically, if art is an expression of experience, then it is accurate to think that black art should have more depth, right? Because the experience is richer, right? There is a freedom that exists in other cultures where you can create those things because that's what's in your mind, right? As a black or brown person, the things that are in your mind are completely different, right? When you're constantly thinking about, you know, driving while black, am I going to get pulled over? If I get pulled over, is the cop going to be an asshole? You know, what can and can't I say, right? You know, talking about like the art experience. If I go to this gallery, are they going to accept me? Are they going to criticize my artwork without, you know, properly understanding it? You know, it creates in us a need and desire to express things in a much more rich form and fashion, at least from what I've seen and experienced. Yeah. All right, so let's shift gears a little bit. So there are a couple of pieces that I wanted to get you to explain to people. And so the first are the two pieces over here. You have what appears to be women, right, in ski masks, but their faces are completely covered. So can you talk a little bit about what those pieces mean?
Which one you want to start with?
You pick.
Okay, so the one on the left here, actually, the black ski mask, is actually my daughter's mother, Camille. And I use, lately I've been using my own people, my own references, my own muses, like the people around me, versus doing celebrities all the time. You know, because honestly, like, I mean, they're inspirations too once I hear the music and everything like that, but I don't just paint celebrities just to paint celebrities like some people do. You know, which is cool, you know, and that gets them notoriety or whatever. However, like now, throughout art history, like if someone painted a picture of you, it was considered royalty because it was no cameras, right? So only rich people had paintings of themselves. So I wanted to also like put my own people in these paintings to signify success, royalty, same thing.
Yeah. All right. So then we shift, and we got a section that's behind us and to the left and the right.
LT.
Oh, that's your sister?
Yeah, the middle one is my sister, LT. And,
okay.
You know, the one to the left is my
Now, are these the family I met?
No.
Okay.
The one, she's in Columbus.
Okay. Because I met the family.
Yeah, you met the family.
We had the opening night, and we had almost like a little family reunion.
Oh, yeah.
They welcomed me in, embraced me, you know. Mom told me a little bit of the family history.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Betrayal. Yeah, right over in this area. She already told you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We won't go there.
Yeah.
So
so we ain't gonna go. Yeah.
I mean, if you
actually no.
I was gonna say it's some things.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the next section, which you do have, right? Portraits of people who have reached a certain level of notoriety, right? Which is interesting. As more people come in, there are people who don't know who the paintings are. So we got Joel Santana,
right.
ASAP Yams,
right.
We got Chris Brown, C Breezy, Future Hendrix behind me, and then we got the late great Nipsey Hussle.
Right.
So, you've talked about there being intentionality in selecting the celebrities that you look to do portraits of. Right. Why these individuals?
So, as you know, my son's name is Harlem, actually.
Met Harlem. Love Harlem.
Yeah, so I actually had the Harlem Project before Harlem was born.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what's so crazy about that too. But I did Harlem to Ohio because in Columbus we did a Columbus Renaissance Project, which was to celebrate the 100-year celebration of the Harlem Renaissance. Mm-hmm. So in that I did everyone from Harlem and hip hop who inspired me. So it was actually titled Harlem Hip Hop to represent the Harlem Renaissance 100 years. And in that I chose the ones who inspired me the most. Of course, Dipset in high school, middle school, you know what I'm saying, watching Cameron, Joel.
Yeah, man.
It wasn't just the music, it was like style too, right? So they brought a different aspect to the culture. Mm-hmm. So for real, like a lot of people don't know, Supreme New York, they wasn't like popping for real until like they really tapped into hip hop in my opinion. Because once they tapped into hip hop, it was like a whole new wave of flavor. Like it was like, all right, now you're deemed fashion like cool. Mm-hmm. Because like it was cool for the skateboarders. But let's be real. In our world, like you know what I'm saying, it always wasn't that. But then it ended up in fashion bridging the gap. Because now you're gonna catch somebody, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna catch a dude on the block in Nike SBs who never skateboarded ever, you know what I'm saying? But it's that mixing of the cultures, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what Supreme and Jewels and Wu-Tang did.
Okay.
But that's why I got Jewels in the Supreme shirt.
Okay.
For that aspect, and then my love for fashion. Of course, he got a signature bandana on, but it's all hearts, right? Real clean. ASAP Yams, just culturally, this is the man who created ASAP Mob. We can thank him for Ferg, ASAP Rocky. We can thank him, of course, Mbari for Bee1ne on the fashion side, music side, culturally, what they just represented. Of course, ASAP Yams is gone now. God rest his soul. But that's also why, if you look closely, it's a halo behind it.
So I was gonna ask you, right? Did you do this piece before he passed or after?
This was after he passed.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So the halo was already meant to be in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This was after Yams died, because Yams actually died some years ago.
Yeah.
But the Nipsey, however, was a different story.
Okay.
Nipsey, that canvas was already gold before I even painted Nipsey, and I had that canvas gold because it was a spray paint I wanted to use. It was solid gold. I was like, all right, and I used the rest of it. Boom, done. But it sat until I said, I'm a wait until I can do something amazing, right? It sat for a year. I was like, you know what? He had that. I think that was the Vibe cover.
Okay.
I was like, yo, this is a dope shot of him. You know what I'm saying? This is before. It just so happened that I was starting to sketch the same day he got shot. Creeped me the hell out a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, all right, yo. Like, but when it happened and I heard, I was like, nah, bro, he gonna pull through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He good. Nip good. He good. So I continued with the piece, and then they didn't let the news out that
passed.
I finished the painting. I worked on the painting all night. By 6 in the morning, I was done, right? I just posted it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't he was rushing to get, because there's a lot of people who do, like artists who do memorial paintings, and that's their thing. But that wasn't this. The painting shot up, went viral, hit like hella blogs, all types of stuff, man. That's actually what essentially got my whole TikTok following.
Okay.
It's the Nipsey painting.
Okay.
So that painting was like, it got bootleg too. It was on T-shirts, but I never sold it. Everybody asked to buy it, and it took me a while because I didn't want to capitalize off of Nipsey's death because he meant more to me than, you know what I'm saying, a quick buck. You know, because I was listening, you know what I'm saying, it's Crenshaw days. So Mailbox Money got me through some things, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? So with his music, you know, it inspired me a lot. You know, so it was like, all right, I don't want to just, I held on to that painting for a while and it just sat in my house.
Yeah, I remember coming out.
How hard it was.
I remember coming out. So we did the studio visit as we were preparing for the show, and we were going through the pieces, and I see this like shiny piece tucked all the way back in the corner, and I'm like, hey man, what's that gold thing? He's like, no, that's nothing. That's nothing. It's something like it's shiny as hell. Like, what is this?
Trying to stash Nip.
Stashing the piece in the back so nobody could see it. Yeah. And it wasn't until maybe a week before the show opened that you decided to put it in.
Yeah, because like I have this thing where if I hold on to a piece for a certain amount of time, like I put a lot of work into these, you know, and essentially a part of my spirit and everything goes into these pieces. You know, so, and that's why when people ask for them for cheap, it's like, no, I'd rather not, you know. But with Nip, I didn't want to let it go at all because I put so much energy into the painting. Not necessarily the way it is done, you know what I'm saying? Because essentially, like, A$AP Yams is more detailed, right? But it's the energy that I put into Nip's painting. I didn't do my typical, you know what I'm saying, portraiture style. At the same end, this was more abstract. It was raw. It was that in one night. It was a therapy painting. It was a release because that artist inspired me. I ain't cried when Pac died, but I shed one thug tear when Nip did. You know what I'm saying? I had that glory tear while painting, bro. 'Cause
So culture reference. Anytime we have those, I'm gonna just say culture reference, right? Glory, Denzel Washington.
Oh, a lot of people.
If you haven't seen it, you might want to check it out. All right, so let's keep going around here. So we got the Future Hendrix behind me.
Oh, that was an era. I mean, you know. Future Hendrix painting came from a time period where I was drinking promethazine. So, Fanta, yellow, and promethazine.
Yeah. That was your jam at the time.
Yeah, for a little hot second.
Okay.
And let's listen to Future. But at the same time, like, I wouldn't smoke and drink that because that'll put you on your ass.
True.
Right? You don't want to do both.
Right.
You gotta pick one. So
you gotta give them lessons.
Yeah. So, but that shit though, it made my feet feel like bricks. You know what I'm saying? So, like at the same time, it forced me. I'd be sipping and I'd feel good, but I wouldn't want to move. So I would set up. Right. I would set up a station. I had my station set up, and I would sip my cup, and I would paint. But I couldn't move because I'm already sipping, and it got me like feeling good. But I can move my arm, right? So I'd be painting the whole time, and sometimes I can paint, like while I was sipping, I'd finish a painting in one night. You know what I'm saying? I'm not condoning drinking like by the way, guys, but I'm just saying what inspired me to do this piece. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's a solid yellow background as well. You know, and I think Future also had like the blonde locks at the time too. So it worked perfectly. You know what I'm saying? So I used the background as his actual locks as well.
Okay. And the last one we got back here is Chris Brown, and this one. So this is one of the first mixed media pieces that I saw from you.
Yeah, it's actually one of the first ones.
Here, jump on the mic.
Oh yes. Yeah. Let me just go ahead. Let me go ahead and switch this around. No. But this is actually one of the first mixed media pieces I did. It's titled Confused. Confused, and actually Chris Brown actually has a character that has the teeth. Right? And I mixed his character with the ski mask, one of my characters, basically. So it was like a mashup, as if it was a mashup of his and my work. You know, combined a little bit there. And then, of course, Seabreeze is always represented with women. And, you know what I'm saying, just culturally, you know, singing and everything like that. I mean, I can't believe how much play I got, you know, playing Chris Brown in high school. So, you know, I'm gonna take it down.
Oh, man. You said we got a song coming?
Yeah. So, Chris Brown, culturally also, you know what I'm saying, people sleep on Chris Brown, but for real, like, shit, culturally, we gotta say he did, like, for my generation, he came up with us. He was your generation's Bobby Brown. Yeah, exactly, for real.
And again, you give it context. If you don't know who Bobby Brown is, look him up. He's a bad man, did some bad things.
It's his prerogative, though.
Yeah.
It's his prerogative.
Yeah. All right, so we got, you know, some of these other pieces talked about. The last few over here, so the furthest, and this is our feature wall, you got a 3-piece set.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about the creation and the meaning behind that set.
So basically that piece is hood religious. Because that's exactly why we created the altar there with the Bible, the ski mask, the bullets, the tall candles, represent Auntie House, you know. But the Guns N' Roses, of course, like the rose, a lot of people symbolically don't, you know, why a rose is used in a lot of hood culture and context, even with the mob and everything. Get y'all notebooks out for this one. So,
Right.
So the rose has thorns, right? Most roses have thorns. And it's usually to prick whatever is around them to get blood so it can feed. So roses bloom better with blood. Blood on the roses, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
You know,
I got you.
I send them roses. So it's so many metaphors with that as well, i.e. why they are in the rifles. You know what I'm saying? So that is that for that part, you know. And then also her being in the ski mask with the 5150 and also carrying the crosses. How many times in our world, you know, it might be someone doing, you know, shiesty shit. Yeah. However, they still might have religious markings on them, crosses on the face. You know what I'm saying? Crosses around their neck, gold jewelry with, you know, sitting gold Jesus face.
Yeah, Jesus piece.
All of that. But he might rob your ass.
Yeah.
You know, so it's the same as it's someone who is trying to battle those demons.
Yeah, and you're tapping on, again, that duality that exists within the experience, right? You have the experience of intense religion that is designed to...
You grew up in a household.
Right.
No matter what, like, you know what I'm saying? Lil Pee Wee, who robbing that lady for that purse, he grew up in his grandmama's house and she was at church every Sunday. Very true. Took him to church. Every Sunday. He'll recite a Bible verse for you. Yeah. But he's still gonna rob your ass.
Yeah.
He might recite a Bible verse
while he doing it. True.
But some people needed that, you know, like, I think times is a little different now. But I ain't gonna say times is a little different. You know, it's because there's some people who still, it ain't right, but they still rob for a loaf of bread. Yeah. You know? Yeah, and I mean, there are things that create the circumstances, right? That people have to make those decisions. There's always like this idea that people wake up in the morning and they're like, you know what? I want to sell drugs. Like, I don't know any drug dealer who has ever woken up, right, with that as the goal. It's always been the desire to survive. Right, or to flip something. Yeah. Honestly, like, if that's the world you come from, and that's how you know how to come up, you know, it is what it is. That's how you gonna come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna get into details about my life either. You know what I'm saying? But it's a quick, you know, it's fast. Yeah. That's why people are attracted to it. Yeah. What you do with the proceeds in the end, those up to you. Yeah, you know, that's real. How you go about living that lifestyle, because that is grown folks' business.
Yeah.
It ain't no, oh, my bags and that shit.
Yeah. So you said grown folks. We're gonna shift a little bit. Your father,
Yeah.
right? Your father of 3, 4. Excuse me. And I had the chance to see you engaging with your kids, and so I know the attention, right, that you put into fatherhood. Talk about how fatherhood has impacted the work, right? I know that you've even done some of these pieces, right? Your son helped you with.
Yeah. The kids inspire me a lot, man. So the pieces you see in here, some of them have helped me with as well. But a lot of times, like y'all see those pink hearts? Ain't just come from nowhere.
Yeah.
I wasn't just painting pink hearts out of nowhere, man. It's because I'm seeing Barbies and Minnie Mouse and Hello Kitty everywhere. So it's the thing. That's what I'm saying. I was always triggered or inspired by what's around me. Mm-hmm. However, you know what I'm saying. But I'm gonna always be true to myself. We got a piece over there that got a Hello Kitty background with a ski mask on it.
Yeah.
Explain that. It's only can come from someone's actual, like, oh, that's up here. Bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was literally mixed with me, my kids, my daughter. My daughter be thugging for real.
All right. How old is the young thug?
Man, Avaya is 3.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll walk around in her ski mask. She got a pink one.
She got a pink one?
Man, she got a pink ski mask. And she writes on herself, and she said it's her tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you the pictures, man. She did her right arm too. Daddy is matching yours. And you know, wow. The thing is, it's like at first it was like, ooh, don't be writing on yourself. Mm-hmm. But with kids, you know, so she see me like this, and it's like, all right. And she's an artist.
Yeah.
She draws with me. She sees me paint. You know, so it's like, all right, well, I want my tattoos too.
Right.
So, you all right? Okay, all right, yeah. Just making sure. You know what I'm saying? Gotta make sure everybody good. But you know, she seen my tattoos, and she was inspired. Boom, she gonna take the marker, boom, and write on herself.
Right.
So she wrote all over herself, and instead of me getting mad, like some parents will get mad, I was like, okay, I embraced it, right? Mm-hmm. But immediately when she seen me, she said, I'm sorry, Daddy, I'm sorry. No, you know what? It's all right. I didn't just, you know what I'm saying, dismiss that. I was like, no, it's all right. You good.
Yeah.
You know, and then afterwards when she started playing and moving around, she said, look, it's my tattoo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just like my father. The way I father is going to be a little different. And it's no, you know, the way I'm going to be a father is going to be a little more creative and fun.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, and I think, you know, again, just considerate of the experience of black people, right, in America, it has to be different, right? You can't be a parent like the parents you see on TV.
No, I got tattoos. So I'm gonna tell my daughter not to write on herself.
Right, you know, the stuff that you see on TV is not what we see on a daily basis, right? It's a different experience. So shifting a little bit back to the art, right? So you mentioned briefly the criticism, right, of graffiti, right, as a medium, and I'm curious, right? I know you don't identify as a graffiti artist, right? But what did graffiti, right, as a culture, what did that give to you for, you know, life and for your art?
Oh, I mean, graffiti culture and graffiti art definitely inspired me. The greats inspired me. You know what I'm saying? That was my Rembrandts. That was my Salvador Dali's. Coke 2, Scene, you know, Sano. You know, we got Ghetto Heroes right here in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cleveland Scribe Tribe. I got, you know what I'm saying? I don't know where. Boom, we got the legend right here. You know
OG keep hiding in the background.
Yeah, you
want to come?
So inspired me before I met him. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you never know who you inspire. You know, so I was, you know, as a shorty, I seen his artwork. As a shorty, I seen Sano and the Cleveland Scribe Tribe, which is why I got the tattoo I got. You know what I'm saying? So that once again, full circle. That was my Picasso.
Yeah.
You know, so it's what's around me. Who can I identify with? it's not. I'm not going. You know, I got. You know how many times I got ridiculed because I didn't know different animes in college.
Yeah.
Like what? The only thing I know is Dragon Ball Z, bro. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It was like blasphemy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold you. That is a little problematic for me. I'm gonna get you together though.
Yeah. I mean, I know about Ninja Scroll, Akira, right?
See, yeah, just don't do it. Yeah, just leave it there.
All right, that's all I know. I ain't even gonna try it. But as you can see,
right,
animes wasn't really my thing. You know what I'm saying? And that was okay to me. But it was like, you know, and I'm pretty sure I probably could, like, you know, like the illustration side, the artwork side, yeah. But once again, it wasn't around.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what cartoon I like? Bebe's Kids.
Just watched it the other day.
I did too.
I promise you on Prime.
It's on Netflix too.
I see it's everywhere though.
Yeah, so you know those are cartoons, you know, different things that inspired me. And then my cousin drawing around me, you know, he inspired me. And then the things that he drew, it was typically the same thing, which I think, you know, resonates in my art today. You know, so just him drawing hood culture. Shit, he'd draw somebody shooting dice.
Yeah.
Why? Because that's what we seen. And it was like, all right, so I went on a spell where I just drew dice. I was airbrushing, you know, t-shirts with dice on them. Cool. And it made money.
Yeah.
It worked. You know, so a lot of, you know, even graffiti culture, it transcended to me wanting to airbrush as well. You know, so I learned the basics, you know, gradients, lines. So I learned everything that surrounds, you know, graffiti culture, right? I know, you know, the terminology. I know when to write over somebody, I know when not to write over somebody. I know where to get you shot.
And what you're talking about is the actual culture that exists.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's deep.
Yeah.
You know, so, but it's also certain parts of me that feels that it has now become very commercialized.
Oh, 100%.
Because we want to make money from it too. Off of something we do, but however, it's some graffiti artists who feel, nah, it ain't for that.
Well, I challenge you only to the extent that I think that it's important that we push to ensure that people recognize how graffiti culture has influenced, right? Marketing culture, everything, right?
Definitely marketing culture.
Anytime that there are things that, again, within Black and brown communities, inspire, right, outside, sometimes it gets lost in translation, and by sometimes I mean all the time, right? And so when you see like cars wrapped, right, with marketing material, that's graffiti culture, right? Those are things that are taken from people, applied in a business space, right? And you don't want to give reverence to the thing that you pull it from, because it then makes your creation seem less original, which is a crazy idea anyway.
Even some of the best advertisements are still hand painted with spray paint. Colossal up in New York, man, they fucking make shit look realistic, like to the point where you think it's a photograph. You know, the logo might look digital, but it's all painted. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the way a lot of those things were done before. You know, it was some people who used to do everything, you know, hand signs and calligraphy and everything. But now, you know, now you can go on Photoshop, boom, get with a print company, and it's done. Yeah.
So, wrapping up, because we've been chatting for a while. Let's talk.
What people got to say too.
Yeah, and we gonna give some chance for people to ask questions. I want to get a sense from you of what you like to see for your art and for Black art culture, right? Moving forward, let's say next 5 years, right? Where do you want to see Bee1ne and the collective of Black art?
That's real clear.
Yeah.
I want it all of it.
Okay.
I want the Art Basels again. I want more murals. I want more paint projects. You know, man, it's no. I do advertisements but to a certain degree. You know, I'm not turning away too many. Well, you know, let me rephrase that because I just talked about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say we had a long talk about that.
it's certain jobs that I want to keep, paint jobs, and that's what I mean by I want it all. So the murals, the street art projects, commission. I ain't gonna even say commission canvas work. By what I make.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm on.
All right.
Yeah.
Understood. So we'll take some time and open it up to anyone in the crowd who's got some questions.
I'll take a commission if it's like the money with the dollar.
What was that noise?
For,
Solid.
Sound effects.
Yeah, it would not go well. It would not go well if I tried that.
Yeah, money going up. So if it's a commission, I'm going to charge accordingly because it's not just like, not to be funny, it's time based.
Yeah.
And shit, man, I'm a father of 4. Art is my career. This is not a hobby. You know what I'm saying? So
you're a full-time artist.
I'm a full-time artist. This is no hobby.
Currently making your living
for the past 10 years
in art.
Thank you. Yes.
That's to be celebrated.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, honestly, it's not because as much because when people hear like, oh, you're an entrepreneur, okay, because that's a whole spectrum as well, right? You know what I'm saying? We should celebrate our people for creating businesses. Matter of fact, we should have business showers, more business showers. You know, so if your friend get a new business, go fucking support them. Go buy them something for their business or something like that. You know, but like, I think when you hear people on Facebook say, oh, I got that job, y'all, that I went to apply for, everybody gonna hit them with 150 comments. Like, yo, that's what's up. But if I'm like, yeah, man, I just paid my taxes on my business.
Now was that a real post?
3 comments.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? But on IG it was
yeah,
on IG, my IG be hitting. But I'm just saying just to show the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not the only person that is experiencing. I'm talking about entrepreneurs across the board. You know, so support your entrepreneur friends, especially black businesses. We say support black businesses, but we really don't be about that. Like how we say. And I'm not talking about just spending money. And that's what everybody think. Like, oh, spending money, oh, well, I can't afford one of your paintings. I ain't say that.
Yeah, it costs nothing to repost, to share.
However, my t-shirts are affordable. However, I was just talking about, okay, a comment, a like, a share. You know what I'm saying? It can be with any of your friends who got a business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shit, throw them a bone. Like, tell somebody. It ain't even got to be through social media. You can tell, like, refer them to somebody.
And I'll challenge you on people purchasing art, right? And so, as an art gallery, you know, we're for profit, right? We're not a nonprofit institution, and so we're in the business of selling art. And the reality is, people spend a lot of money on things that have no appreciation value.
Right, at least
right? You'll buy a brand new car, $60,000. As soon as you drive it off the lot, $10,000 of that is gone, right? Purchasing art is not a singular purchase, right? It's an investment, right? And you invest with the idea that this is going to appreciate, that the value is going to increase. And you know, there are people who don't see it that way yet. You know, particularly in Cleveland. It's a much more difficult city to sell art in, and I think people give credit to.
It's hard to fathom.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, like, it is hard to fathom, and that's coming from me as an artist. You know, because it's not one of those things that is typical to us. However, you got rich kids who come up in Beverly Hills. You know, they understand the value of art at 15. So you're gonna tell Blue Ivy gonna be she understand.
Yeah, she get it.
Ski out already. Hey, it's different.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's culturally different. Like, so us forcing something, like, not necessarily forcing, but someone trying to understand, like, why am I about to pay this money for this? You know, they don't understand the value of it. It's a different world.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we're trying to educate now. That's what we're trying to essentially, we're not just selling black art or art in general. I ain't going to say black art. We're not just selling art. We're educating our people on it as well. Yeah. Because it's not like, it's different for us, where some of them grow up in it and they already understand the value of it. We have to start, it's like teaching a child now.
And it's interesting.
I didn't even understand it, and I was in it.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah, it's interesting. It's not just an investment in the art, but it's an investment in the culture as well, right? When there are artists who very intentionally represent the culture in ways that include that coded language that you only get when you know, right? You said earlier, if you know, you know, right?
Right.
Those things need to be to be celebrated and to be invested in because they are the truest representations of the culture in which we exist.
So you saying tell it all?
Yeah, why not? Why not? If we don't tell our story, then we leave room for someone else to co-opt it. And that has happened, right? So often within the history of the black and brown creative, right? You look at music, right?
I mean, they
the history of like black people in music is really interesting because we've created tons of genres, right? Yeah, many of which we no longer exist primarily in.
Blues, rock.
Right. You know, even the idea of blues, if you talk to someone of an older generation, they're offended if you call it blues. Right? Blues was originally designed to be black classical. Right? And I see that same thing exist in the artwork, right? We are not looking to make the same art that existed before us because that art didn't speak to anything that we have, that we've experienced, that we've done. We want to create something that speaks to that and still has that same beauty, right? There was a critique of a piece in one of our shows, and the criticism was that it was difficult to see the beauty, right? It was difficult to accept how beautifully the painting was done, while also seeing that the message in it was destructive, right? And I think that language for me completely summed up the black art experience, right? If you don't understand what it means to have to find beauty in pain, right, then you won't understand when it's depicted in front of you.
Exactly.
Right? It's really difficult to accept the greatness of something that challenges you on something that you've been comfortable with for your whole life.
And that right there, essentially, too, is why it's like I haven't all the way. I think we talked about.
Yeah.
I haven't really like took the gloves off.
Yeah.
Artwork yet, man. It's some shit I got to say.
We got some stuff brewing too. So
yeah, but it's like, ooh, you know, like I'm gonna just explain one painting, and I didn't go through with it, and it was basically just to paint the Pyrex logo.
Okay.
The Pyrex logo.
That's cold though. Huh? That's cold right now. What you're doing is cold, right? Because if you don't understand the culture, you don't know the relevance of Pyrex. So
right, it's a non-burning pan. You know, Pyrex is the best kitchenware you can have. Right. You know, so I was gonna paint a Pyrex logo just on an all-white canvas. Boom. So it's gonna be like a grayish white on white, but it's gonna be hearts. You know, and then I was gonna put a razor blade in the corner.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it was like, should I do this?
Yes.
You know, but just like you said yes just now, why did I have that hesitation?
Right.
Why did I feel uncomfortable putting that out there?
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
In reality,
Pyrex made some people some money. Right?
Yeah,
Pyrex
but
it's
the fear of the acceptance of the culture, right? In reality, if there is true acceptance of black culture, then there has to be acceptance of the role that America, right, played in creating black culture, right? The intentionality of redlining, right?
Yes.
The intentionality of joblessness, right? The crack epidemic. All of these things are part and parcel to that story, right? And so the second that they accept the idea that these things are beautiful, they have to accept the fact that they played a role, right, in the destruction of so many lives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was just, you know, that one painting can be, you know, a metaphor to so much. You know, the Pyrex logo being, you know, and then just it being off-white. And that's honestly another thing that's, speaking of off-white, when you think about even Virgil album, right, with his clothing brands, you know what I'm saying? What do we say a lot of time when something is fly or fresh?
Yeah.
Oh, yo, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Cold.
But a lot of people wouldn't understand Virgil's context with his, Off-White, I love Off-White.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's always interesting, right? To see people accept things that they don't understand.
They don't understand.
Right? You can see that it's great, but you don't know why.
You know how many, people who aren't in that world understand that world, like tapped into the labels.
Yeah.
Like, Off-White, and then even Virgil himself even had a brand called Pyrex.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't go, you know what I'm saying? It didn't go
Didn't do it,
well. And then essentially he created what? Off-White. Essentially all of it is what? Dope.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Going back into fashion and playing all that on words, and essentially, with my artwork, fashion once again.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah. All right. And I mean, we can talk for hours and hours, but I know we limited on time. What I do want to do in wrapping up, and we don't have any questions coming from the crowd, I do want to take a second and remind everybody that your birthday was yesterday. Yes. And so we did get you a cake. Happy birthday, Bee1ne. We got you your favorite wine, and if you are not familiar, please catch up. Chateau Huff, Black-owned winery in Huff, which, if you're familiar with it, they're shifting the name to Midtown, which is problematic, but we won't go there.
It's
but
Huff.
Happy birthday, man.
It's Huff.
Happy birthday, bro. I appreciate you.
Happy birthday, homie. Happy birthday, homie.
Hey.
Happy birthday, homie.
If you know, you know.
Happy birthday,
homie.
For me? If you know, you know.
Right. Yeah. But I appreciate you, man, chopping it up with me for a little bit. Wrap up. Oh.
Anybody? Any questions? So you ain't got nothing to say?
Let's say the OG been back there real quiet. Yeah. That either mean we did something real good or something real bad. Yeah. And as soon as we get off the mics, he gonna be like, "Hey man, let me tell you something."
Yeah, it's either we gonna get scolded or we like pats on the back.
Like, you could tell from the scowl. The scowl. The scowl tells the story. No, but yeah, man. Thank you. Wrapping up. Tell everybody how they can.
Ratchet and embarrassed them.
Listen, man, not at all. I think that your artwork is a great representation of what the conversation around black art can be, right? It identifies the things that inspire you, that are specific to the culture, while still allowing you the space to add elements that pull, right, from a more fine art, classically trained eye, right? And I think
the way you break stuff down, man, you can really articulate.
Listen, my art firm is writing and talking.
Yeah,
so
we gonna talk.
So
you're gonna have to write all that. You know what I'm saying? Make it sound real nice. All right.
Yeah, but tell the people, social media, where they can catch up with you, all of that good stuff.
Website www.bee1ne.com, BEE1ne.com. Same with the IG @Bee1ne, BEE1ne_. Boom.
All right. Yeah. So thank you everybody for coming out. We still have wine. I'm gonna cut the cake. So yeah, stick around. I'll turn the music up. We'll have some fun. All right.
All right. So I'm ready to go do hood rat shit with my friends.
Oh man.